Hello. It is I once more, Jordan, aka Def Cos, aka unknown One Piece fanboy who persists in making videos despite nobody watches them. But that's okay. I just want to do it for me at this point. Um, it's fun to do. I love talking about One Piece. Maybe people will start watching at some point. That would be great. I don't need a ton of viewers. Maybe just a few. That would be nice. Um, anyway, we're going to do One Piece Volume 11 today. Um, the end of the Arlong Park arc and the beginning of the Rogue Town arc, which I always thought it was Log Town. But reading this, it's Rogue Town. Um, I don't know what I got where I got Logtown from. I guess R's and L's are kind of the same thing in Japanese, so maybe it is Logtown too. Um, but yeah, it was definitely Rogue Town in this. But anyway, let's get into it. Okay, so I'll read the forward as always. This is a short one. Hello, and thank you for taking our bus tour. We're heading towards the 100th chapter of One Piece. On your right, you can see the thumbs held up high. There's plenty more action and adventure ahead. Ichiro, 1999. So this was chapter 100. Actually, chapter 100 is not in this volume. It's the first chapter of volume 12. But we're well over a thousand chapters at this point in One Piece. So yeah, so this was a while ago, which it keeps blowing my mind. I keep bringing it up every video how long One Piece has been going on. Um, okay, yeah. So we get the chapter cover with Kobe and Helmeppo, um, and we see Garp's ship arriving. And I think what they're gonna do in the live action, because they already cast Garp, and Garp doesn't like. I mean, he shows up in the chapter cover, but he doesn't really show up in the story until Enos Lobby or like post Enos Lobby. Um, so I guess in the live action, what they're gonna do is like incorporate the chapter covers into the actual story, like which makes sense. I think they kind of do that in the anime too. Um, but yeah, so it's like I guess they'll just like cut to a scene with Kobe and Helmeppo, and we'll see what's going on with them, which makes sense. I think that's a smart way to do it. Okay, so we continue the fight with Arlong versus Luffy. Arlong is attacking Luffy with his teeth. Um, then Luffy puts the teeth in and bites Arlong. Um, this is a cool fight. I wouldn't say that Luffy versus Arlong is my favorite fight of the arc. I think I liked Zoro versus Hachi and Sanji versus Karubi, and even Usopp versus Chu. I think I like those fights a bit better. Maybe those fights are just kind of nearer to my heart just because I owned those volumes for such a long time and I reread them so many times. Uh, I was always familiar with what happened. Like I had read obviously I had read this before, but I didn't own these volumes for a long time. So um, these volumes, I'm not as familiar with them as I am with the first 10. Um, but yeah, but I don't know. Like the Arlong versus Luffy fight is definitely cool. But I do have one problem with it, which I'll get into when I get there. Um, but I like those other fights a little bit more, I think. Um, but anyway, we get Arlong versus Luffy. So yeah, so they're going back and forth. Oh yeah, then Arlong does the Shakon Dots, which they just call Shark Darts in this, which makes sense. Because Shark on Darts doesn't. I don't know what that means. um. Okay, so Arlong's attacking Luffy. Oh yeah, so that's the first appearance of Garp. I put a post-it note here. That's the first time we see Garp, right there, right here, right here. And he used to have the weird dog hat on, like the dog. This is kind of like a dog hat, but he had like a dog helmet on. But he takes that off. I wonder what the deal was with the dog helmet. I guess it was just to obscure his face. Um, yeah, I'm not sure why he had that, and then he lost it and never put it back on again. Okay, so oh yeah, so they go. So the fight brings them actually into the building, like into Arlong Park, and Arlong goes berserk mode where his eyes get all crazy. Oh yeah, I put a post-it note here. I thought this was kind of a cool moment when Arlong he goes to punch Luffy and his hand goes through the wall of Arlong Park, and then he grabs his sword, his like saw sword, and I had actually forgotten that he had that sword. I just reread this just now. That's what I'm doing. I'm just rereading the volumes right before I make the videos. That is fresh in my mind. Um, but yeah, but I forgot he had that big sword, and it's kind of an awesome looking sword. And so he attacks Luffy with it. Then they end up inside Arlong Park, inside Nami's room, where she made all the maps for Arlong. And Arlong is explaining to Luffy, yeah, this is what I was using Nami for, like to make all these maps so that I could take over the East Blue. Um, and Luffy is not cool with that. So he breaks Arlong's sword. Um, oh yeah, and here is when Luffy starts to destroy the room that Nami was kept in to make all the maps. And this is the only thing that I kind of questioned a little bit because I mean I get like the symbolism behind it. Like I understand like this room kind of represents Nami's misery. Um, and so Luffy's like, I'm just gonna destroy this room in order to free Nami of this burden, and that's great and that makes sense. But the only thing that didn't make too much sense to me, and I actually put a post-it note here, is that Luffy he's like fucking up all the maps. He's like destroying all the maps too. Like the maps are going too. He's destroying the room and the maps. And to me, I was just like, well, wasn't that like a big chunk of Nami's dream? Because Nami's dream is to draw a map of the world. She wants to draw a map of every island, like every ocean or whatever, like in the entire world. That's her dream. That's what she wants to do. And Luffy is destroying all these maps. I'm just like, well, wait a second. I understand that those maps were made for Arlong, and so Arlong's the bad guy. We don't want to help Arlong. But if we defeat Arlong, we could just take those maps and still use them. Like, you don't have to destroy the maps. Because Nami put a lot of work into those maps. Granted, it was work against her will. So I guess that's kind of the problem there. But it's still work that she did nonetheless. And I feel like it's a big chunk of her dream right there. But Nami's cool with it. Nami's just like, oh yeah, like, thank you for doing that. Then Arlong bites Luffy again. And I put a post-it note here. I'm a big fan of this moment. This is where Luffy breaks Arlong's nose right here on this page. He just grabs his nose while he's biting down on him, and just cracks it to the side. I think that was a really awesome moment because Arlong was like really proud of his nose. So cracking it is just kind of like the first step towards defeating him. Or maybe not the first step, but one of the steps. Yeah, he says it right here. The problem is this room. I'm gonna smash it to smithereens. She hated being stuck here. So yeah, so I get it. Like yeah, it's like she hated the room. So fuck that room. We're gonna smash it. Um, but I feel like the maps. I mean, I guess maybe they couldn't have been salvaged. Like there's a huge fight going on. Uh, so I guess it was just like part of what needed to happen. But yeah, but I don't know. I feel like Nami put a lot of time into those maps, so maybe if there was a way to salvage them, that would have been a good thing. Oh yeah, and I put a post-it note here. I put a lot of post-it notes in this volume, like a lot. Um, but I always thought it was awesome how Luffy defeats Arlong, how he does the Gomu Gomu no battle axe while Arlong is attacking him with the tooth drill, and then he just like smashes him with the battle axe, and in the process he breaks down all of Arlong Park, just destroys the building, the whole building, makes a big hole in it, and it just collapses. The whole thing just collapses. Kaboosh, boom. So yeah, so that's pretty cool. He like takes out Arlong and destroys Arlong Park in one attack. Um, yeah. So oh yeah, I put a post note here just because I like this drawing. Like triumphant Luffy standing on top of the rubble, the sun shining, and he's just standing there like Nami, you're one of us now. That's what he says. Yeah, so it took a while, but Nami officially becomes a Straw Hat. I guess you could argue she was always a Straw Hat, because even when she double crossed him or whatever, she never like intended she never wanted harm to like fall upon them. She never like she just wanted them to leave, but she never wanted anything bad to happen to them. But now she's officially a Straw Hat. And then the Nezumi guy comes back, the Marine, the evil Marine. I thought this was a great moment. Nami, a nice cathartic moment. Like Nami says, "Oh yeah, for shooting Nojiko and wrecking Belmare's Tangerine Grove," and then she just boogoosh, fucking owns him, and that's a really awesome drawing too. The dope perspective and the dope style of the drawing. Uh, and she just like fucking owns him. That's a big moment for Nami right there, and really cathartic for the fans reading it. So yeah, so they start partying. Oh yeah, yeah. I put a post-it note here. I think there were a couple things I wanted to talk about here. So here on this side, Nami is with Genzo, and is Nojiko there? Yeah, Nojiko's there too, and and they talk about how oh, if Belmere was still alive, you'd think she would have stopped me from becoming a pirate. And Genzo's like, yeah, she definitely would have, and Nojiko's like, no, she wouldn't have. But then Nojiko's like, oh, would you have even listened? And Nami's like, nope, I would not have listened. And and I think that's a cool moment because if you've ever lost somebody in your life, like I've lost people in my life. Like my mother passed away. My cousin passed away recently, and it's like when they're gone, you still want to think about them the way you would have thought about them when they were alive. Like you know, you kind of want to be nice at the same time because they're no longer with you. It's like, oh, Belmare's dead, so maybe if she wanted to, if she didn't want me to become a pirate, I would have said, okay, fine, Belmare, because I love you. But at the same time, it's like, well, wait a second. If she was alive, that's not how I would have reacted. Like That's not how it goes when they're alive. So I thought that was an interesting moment. I wouldn't be surprised if Oda has lost some family members or some people close to him because he seems to kind of get it. Oh yeah, and also and then on the opposite page, um, this page. So the doctor is stitching up Zoro, and he's like, "Hey, don't you guys have a doctor on your crew?" And Luffy's like, "Oh yeah, we should get a doctor." Then he brings up the gag again, but shouldn't we get a musician first? And it's it's just like, damn, like if you got into One Piece like later on, and Brook was already a member of the crew, like before you even started reading One Piece, then you might not realize like how long and how impactful of a moment, like how long that gag went on when Luffy kept bringing up, oh, I want a musician. It seems so like trivial or whatever. Like you don't need a musician, but he just wanted one. But then when Brook finally joined, it was like, holy shit! Like he actually got a musician. Like it took fucking like a decade, but he got a musician, and that was always a cool moment. Like it was awesome when Brooke joined. Um, but now that gag is there's no point in that gag anymore. Um, so yeah, so let's see, let's keep going. Oh yeah, so then the Nezumi guy calls Marine Base headquarters and he tells them they need to make a bounty for Luffy, and this is Luffy's first bounty, and apparently it's the highest bounty in the East Blue or something like that, or like it's the highest starting point for a bounty in the East Blue, 30,000 berry. So yeah, so Luffy was a big deal pretty early on. Oh yeah, and I put a post-it here just because this is when they're having the celebration, like the party. And at the end of a lot of One Piece arcs, like whenever they beat the big villain, they party afterwards. They have like a big feast. And I actually brought this up in one of my older videos, but that actually reminds me of Asterix. I don't know if anybody watching this is familiar with Asterix, Asterix the Gaul. It's a French comic about like ancient France and during the time of like the Roman Empire. And there's a small like French tribe of Gauls. They were called Gauls, and they fight the Romans. And at the end of every volume, they have a feast. They have a banquet because it's like the end of the story, it's the end of the adventure, and they're celebrating and they have a feast. And I wonder if Oda is familiar with that because that's kind of similar to what he does in One Piece. Like at the end of the arc, they'll always have like a big feast and a party. Um, so yeah, okay, so oh yeah, then Nami gets her tattoo redone. Let's see, I put a post it here because this is actually the last time we see Johnny and Yosaku right here. And I was a big fan of Johnny and Yosaku. Like I think they're awesome characters. Like they definitely they're not very strong. Like they're not there to fight. You know, they're not there to be on par with like the Monster Trio or anything like that. But they're cool characters to have. Like as far as like because in One Piece there are always characters that are like observing the fight and that kind of like comment on the fight while it's happening. And in Arlong Park, that was Johnny and Yosaku, and I think they're really good at doing that. Like I kind of wish that Oda had continued bringing like with Johnny and Yosaku, like had brought them back or something. I mean, I guess they wouldn't really be able to survive on the Grand Line. Um, but I like them a lot. I think they have cool designs. I think they're funny. They're Zoro's friends. So I don't know. I think they were really cool characters. I kind of miss them. I wish we could see them again in some capacity. Okay, so here we have they're about to leave Arlong Park, and Nami steals everybody's wallets, and then they set sail. And actually, she says, "I'll be back." I'm just seeing this right now. Actually, she says, "Bye, everyone. I'll be back." So I don't know when she's gonna be back. I don't know if we're gonna, if we're gonna see her come back. Um, but I remember that was something that I watch a lot of One Piece YouTubers. I'm a pretty big fan of like Tekking and King of Lightning and Rogers Base, Grand Line Review. I watch a lot of them, and I think Tekking was talking about how he thinks that at the end of the story, all the Straw Hats are going to go back home. They're all going to go back to their respective villages, and I guess maybe that's might be what happens. I mean, she literally says, "I'll be back," so it would make sense if she did come back. I mean, I guess once they find the One Piece and once Luffy becomes Pirate King, they're not. They're what else are they gonna have to do, right? If they conquer the Grand Line, then I guess the adventure's over. They've had their adventure. Um, yeah, I'm not sure what's gonna happen after that. Oh yeah, we see why Genzo had the pinwheel was to cheer Nami up when she was a baby. Oh yeah, and in this volume there was no SBS. Uh, it was just like he was doing schematics of the merry-go. Um, oh yeah, this was a funny moment when Usopp is making the pepper sauce star, and he puts it and gets it. He's like, "Oh, if this gets in anybody's eyes," and then Luffy falls on him and he puts it in his own eyes. Right here, I thought that was funny. That made me laugh. Oh yeah, so here we see Luffy's bounty for the first time, and we see Brand New. And I think Brand New was just he was in the same chapter, the chapter where we got the revelation of the Yonko's bounties, and Gold Roger's bounty. I'm pretty sure Brand New was doing the same thing, like talking about bounties. He has a pretty cool design. I like his design. Oh yeah, I love how on Luffy's first wanted poster, Usopp's in the background. Oh yeah, so here we get Logtown. They get to Logtown. Oh wait, I had a post-it note here. What was? Oh yeah, I just forgot to take it out. I was talking about the bounties in Brand New. Okay, so they get to Rogue Town, which I always thought was Logtown. I'm not sure why. I feel like it was Logtown, not Rogue Town. Anyway, doesn't matter. I guess it's the same thing. It's not that big a difference. Um, okay, yeah. So they all decide that they're gonna go their separate ways and like get supplies. And then we see Tashigi's first appearance. I always liked Tashigi. I think she's an awesome character. I'm a pretty big fan of Tashigi's post time skip design. I think she looks a little more interesting than in her pre time skip design. But the thing is, her pre time skip design, she looked like Queena. And that was the whole point, is that she looks like Queena. And now she doesn't really look like Queena. She just looks. She has long hair. Uh, yeah, she just doesn't really look like Queena. So I don't know. I'm not sure. I don't know. I mean, I'm not sure why Oda decided to do that. But yeah, and then we get Mihawk hanging out with Shanks. I'm always a big fan of these drawings, like the high contrast. Those always look cool. This is Shanks' crew right here. So we see Shanks and Mihawk is telling Shanks about Luffy. Then we go to Luffy's village. Oh yeah, and then we get the scene where Zoro buys his swords to replace the swords that Mihawk broke. And we get Matsu. I think his full name is Ippon Matsu. This guy right here. I think he has a funny design too. I like the way he looks. Um, so yeah, so Zoro needs new swords, and he runs into Tashigi again. And then Tashigi realizes that Zoro's sword is the Wado Ichimonji. Damn, it's funny. We're getting this is actually kind of foreshadowing Wano a little bit. This is so long ago. Holy shit. Um. Oh yeah, and then Sashiki's sword is the Autumn Rain, and then Matsu. Oh yeah, they find the Kitetsu the third. Oh yeah, and then Zoro does the test where he throws the sword into the air, and he's like, "Oh, if this sword is cursed, then let's test my luck against the curse." And he throws it into the air, and then it comes back, and he puts his arm out. This is classic. This is a classic One Piece moment. And then it just goes around his arm. What if it is? What if it actually cut off his arm? I guess that would have been the end. And then that like stuns Matsu, and he just gives him the what is it? The Yubashiri? Yeah, he gives him the Yubashiri. He gives him the Yubashiri and the Kitetsu. So Zoro didn't even have to spend any money. He just like showed his badassness. And the guy was like, "Oh shit, you can have the swords, man." Oh, and then we see Alvida again. The first time we see her after she ate the devil's fruit, and I had actually forgotten that Alvida was kind of insinuating that she wanted to she wanted Luffy to be her man, pretty much. Like, I guess romantically. I guess that's what she was implying. I had actually forgotten about that because I feel like that role has been replaced with Boa Hancock. Like now, like when I think about characters in One Piece that would be a couple, uh, like Luffy and Boa Hancock come to mind. Even though Luffy is so oblivious, like he doesn't really think about stuff like that. But I imagine like at the end of the story, once he becomes Pirate King, maybe he'll actually like Boa will be his wife or something like that. They'll have kids or something like that, kind of like Goku and Chi Chi or like something like that. Um, so yeah, but at first it was gonna be Alvida, apparently, and I don't remember if that's still something Alvida talks about. Like we haven't seen Alvida in a long time, but I don't remember Alvida. Like I'd completely forgotten that she was looking at Luffy that way. And I wonder if she still feels that way. Like if she still feels like she wants to take Luffy on as her husband or whatever, like as her boyfriend or her partner. Um, yeah, so I don't know if Alvida still feels that way. But yeah, but I don't think it's gonna be Alvida anymore. It's gonna be Boa Hancock. But I think Oda was setting it up for it to be Alvida at first. Yes, that's Alvida. This is a funny gag. It was so hard. Um, and she has a cannibal, just like Kaido. So yeah, I don't know. Is like are Boa Hancock and Alvida gonna fight for Luffy? That'd be kind of cool. I guess Boa Hancock would own her though. Then Buggy comes back. Buggy is one of my favorite characters. I love Buggy. I hope he comes back soon. Hopefully after Wano, we'll get to see him again. So yeah, so Luffy gets trapped on the what's it called? The scaffolding. The I forget what it's called. Um, yeah, the special execution scaffold. So yeah, so Luffy goes on top of it to because he just wanted to see what Gold Roger saw. but then Kabaji shows up and traps him. Oh yeah, and then we get Smoker. Smoker shows up. Smoker is actually one of the few characters, like Smoker and Tashigi are actually one of the few characters whose designs I immediately liked more after the time skip. Um, a lot of the characters, I mean, I'm used to it now, so now I love the way they look. But when it first happened, and those designs like changed, like all the straw hats and all the characters that were pre time skip. Once you see them post time skip, they look different. They have like different clothes on and like different hair or whatever. And Smoker and Tashigi, I immediately thought they looked better. Like Smoker looks way better in my opinion. His hair looks way better. He's got the scar now. Um, Tashigi, I thought looked better. But like most of the straw hats, like especially like Frankie. I mean, I'm used to it now, so like I don't really mind it anymore. But when it first happened, I was like, huh, not a huge fan of these new designs. But now I love them. Now they're just as classic as the post time skip designs. Um, Okay, so yeah, so Luffy's on the scaffolding. Buggy's about to kill him, like literally slice his head off. Moji is trying to burn the merry-go. Um, oh yeah, so Buggy goes to cut off his head. Zoro and Sanji are rushing towards them, trying to save him. Then Luffy smiles. Sorry, I'm a goner. The will it be when they smile and they're about to die or they die, they smile. All the members of the D clan. But then, huge bolt of lightning. And Nami kept saying, "Oh, the air pressure is dropping, like a storm is coming." So a lot of people think that was actually Dragon. That Dragon must have some kind of control over the weather, like he has some kind of devil fruit power that allows him to control the weather, and that makes a lot of sense to me. I feel like that must be what was going on there, um, because Dragon has got to be like super powerful. So it would make sense that he would have a really powerful devil fruit ability like that. And it seems like too much of a coincidence that the weather would just like lightning would just strike exactly at that spot at that moment. So it has to be Dragon, I think. And Dragon's gonna show up in volume 12 if I'm not mistaken. I'm pretty sure that's when he shows up. Yeah, so he saves Luffy. Sanji asks Zoro if he believes in a higher power. Zoro says, "Don't talk nonsense." Yeah, and that's pretty much it. The storm started, and they're on their way to escape Rogue Town, and Smoker is after them, and that is volume 11. Yeah, so that was fun. Uh, I will do volume 12 on Sunday. Feel free to join me then. Feel free to leave a comment so we can talk about One Piece. Um, yeah, I guess I don't really have much else to say. I'm looking forward to chapter 1044 this Friday. I think I'm gonna do a video for that chapter. I think I'm going to just film myself reading it. Um, so we'll see what happens. I'll probably lose my shit if something hype happens. It seems like something hype is gonna happen. So I'll probably do that and then post that on Friday before I go to work. So I might have to get up a little early to take care of that. Um, so yeah, I think I'm gonna do that on Friday, and then on Sunday I'll do another. I'll do another review. I'll do volume 12. So that's the plan. If you indeed watch me talk about One Piece for over a half an hour, thank you so much for watching. I will see you again in the very near future. Have a good one.